Oh my goodness, we got to talk about Tesla and potentially the dealership model coming. Oh my gosh, it's a disaster. We got to talk about retail that's buying Tesla. We got to talk about the Mexico fab. I don't know if I could borrow that term from Chips, fabs, fabrication facility, probably not. Factory, gigafactory, we'll call it that. We got to talk about the long term for Tesla. And then this crazy new patent that Ford just filed. Lot to talk about. Let's hop right into it. Okay. First things first, Mississippi, where there's literally like one Tesla store, just introduced this bill, which is sitting, the Mississippi legislature did, just introduced this bill right here. It's sitting on the desk of the governor to sign. And it basically creates these exemptions, suggesting when an automotive company can operate their own dealership networks and when they can't. And the problem is, if this gets signed, Tesla might have to close its very only Tesla store in Mississippi. And so it's on the governor's desk. The legislature passed this bill on Thursday, and it's aimed at restricting electric vehicle manufacturers from opening brick and mortar dealerships unless they comply with the same laws followed by traditional car makers, basically the dealership model. Now, obviously, buying direct is so fantastic because you don't have that middle person adding, 5 to 10% as a markup. The dealership model is obviously built around service. And this is not to bag on car sales. I want to be very clear. If you are in car sales, you are learning so much in terms of sales skills that even when dealerships go away in the future, which I think they will, it'll be a while. It'll probably still be 20, 30 years. Many of you who are in car sales right now are gonna be like, Kevin, I don't care. I'll be retired by then. And that's fine. I just want to make sure you know, like I don't disrespect salespeople. At heart, that's what I started as. And I actually think starting in like door-to-door sales or car sales is just getting thrown into the fire pit of actually knowing how to close a deal fast. Like that's how you learn a lot in sales really fast. So aside from apologizing to the salespeople, let me now move on from saying, I have nothing wrong. I have no qualms with salespeople. But the dealership model is antiquated. It's garbage. It's going to go away. It will die. The dealership model will die. Now, that's not to be confused with the real estate dealership model, basically, where real estate agents help people buy, sell. I don't think that's going away. That'll take another 100 years for that to go away, I expect. That'll happen in the future, but not anytime soon. Cars are next. But here, you're actually seeing Mississippi introduce a law that will move companies backwards and basically force the closure of Tesla's store in Mississippi. And basically, see, look at this. Tesla has one facility in Mississippi where customers can buy vehicles in person, but it's classified as a store and not a dealership, a distinction that allows the company to operate outside of state laws governing the franchise business. But this bill, signed into law, if signed into law, would not allow the store to stay open unless it enters into a franchise agreement. Now, what Tesla could do to circumvent this is basically just create and spin off a money-losing franchise and fund the money-losing franchise. I'm sure there's a loophole around this. Do I really think this has any big implication on Tesla? No. What maybe has more of a potential impact on Tesla is the fact that apparently Tesla just actually recalled 3,470 vehicles because bolts securing the second row seatback frames may not have been securely tightened enough. Not a big deal. Stuff like that happens. Obviously, take it in, get it fixed. You're unfortunately not going to be able to over-the-air update that. But I do think it's interesting that Mississippi is basically trying to go backwards. And obviously, this is going to be the dealership unions and dealerships fighting for this. And in a place like Mississippi, they might actually still be able to pull it off. Whatever. Maybe you might have to order your Tesla from the state next to it, or you'll have a money-losing franchise that Tesla will set up to make it happen. Whatever. There are ways around all of this. But what's more interesting is actually that Tesla could potentially start making cars in Mexico next year, in 2024. That'd be pretty damn fast. That means they'd have to get this sucker built in the next 12 to 18 months. Now, I personally think Tesla is playing very smart 4D chess out there. Oh, hold on. Let me pause for a moment. There's this guy called FTX Sam, so Sam Bankman-Fried, I guess, who says Kevin is the biggest Tesla shill out there. Dude, there are so many Tesla fanboys who have their heads so far up their ass that all they care about is bullish stuff on Tesla. Like I try to be neutral, man. Like I am a big Tesla bull. I am a big long-term Tesla investor. Tesla has the biggest allocation in my ETF, personal allocation. Like I am a Tesla bull. But there are some people that have their head so far up their ass that you say one bad thing about Tesla, they hate you. And I'm like, man, whatever, man. But no, I am not the biggest Tesla shill out there. There are lots of Tesla shills that are way more. So on the scale of Tesla shills, I think I'm on the low end of Tesla shills. I'm in the poverty end of Tesla shills if you rated it by sort of like level of shillness. I try to be neutral, but anyway. So what do we have here? Oh yeah, so I think Tesla's playing 4D chess here because when Tesla says, oh, we're gonna start making the cars next year, what they're really doing is they're manipulating the politicians, okay? Think about this, folks. Think about this. It's 4D chess. Tesla is not saying we might start making cars in 2024. They're having the politicians say it. Now, what does the politician have to make sure of? Tesla, I said you would start making cars next year. What's it gonna take? Tesla's gonna go, well, sir, we're gonna need those permits to be expedited. No problem. You need your permit? Here it is. Because the politician made the commitment, not Tesla. It's so brilliant. Look, there are some things that piss me off a lot about Tesla, okay? I'll say it and I'll say it again. Their presentation was an unorganized disaster. Their presentation skills are hugely bad. Okay? Their investor day was, at least on investor day, a middle finger. It was sort of like, here's a 1,000-piece Tesla puzzle, thrown on the ground. Nobody put it together. Now, the pieces were fantastic. The more and more we picked up the pieces, we're like, oh, damn, this is actually pretty good. Damn, yeah, this puzzle actually looks pretty damn nice. But their presentation skills, 1 out of 10. Their engineering skills, 20 out of 10, okay? They can fix that easily. A little bit of work on the presentation would make them hugely better at presenting. Okay, and that's where, like, I get, like, a lot of hate from the Tesla community because you're like, Kevin's just a traitor then. Good Lord. Good Lord. Being in the middle sucks. Really. I felt that when I ran for governor as well. You're in the middle. The left hates you. The right hates you. You're in the middle. The Bears hate you. The Bulls hate you. Everybody hates you. But that's okay. I have coffee and alcohol to help me. Oh, that Patron's a little strong. I mean, that coffee's a little strong. Anyway, okay. So continuing on with this New York Times article here. New York Times. Tesla factory in Mexico, Nuevo Leon, will cost $5 billion, will employ up to 7,000 people, and could start churning out cars as early as next year. Look at the politician making that commitment. 35-year-old governor getting manipulated by Tesla. Good job, Tesla. You guys are kicking ass again here. Over time, Tesla could double or triple that initial $5 billion investment. These opportunities, I think, happen every 100 years. Dude, this governor is so jazzed. He's basically like, he's wetting his pants over how excited he is that Tesla's coming. And this is like the perfect 4D chess because a lot of the Mexican politicians have been too, as the New York Times here says, criticized for being too slow to embrace green energy. And now, guess what's happening over here? Look at this one over here. The auto body painting process, essential to the manufacturing process, uses a lot of water. Raises the question about how Tesla is actually going to get enough water for their factory. Okay, so the New York Times provides that. But listen to the counter right away. You ready for this? You ready for this? The politician immediately points out an array of new infrastructure projects, including an aqueduct and a dam, saying he will ensure a steady supply of water because I need Tesla. You know Elon Musk is just sitting there twiddling his thumbs right now going, that's right, step bro. You stuck. Oh, it's actually like just totally brilliant. It's so brilliant. You've got Volkswagen. New York Times kind of gives a little shout out to Volkswagen, who wants to create the first mass-produced brand, bring back sort of the Scouts mass-produced brand of off-road vehicles in the EV segment. They're going to be building a facility apparently near Columbia, South Carolina, to produce trucks and off-road vehicles by 2026. Who cares? You got Fords, Chevys, Volkswagens, Beamers, and other cars being manufactured in Mexico. Whatever. Here's interesting. Under the Inflation Reduction Act passed by Democrats last year, electric cars and batteries made in Mexico are eligible for federal incentives not available to vehicles made in Asia or Europe. Vehicles made in Mexico have long been shipped to the United States and Canada duty-free. Tesla, like other manufacturers, will have its own lane at the border, allowing trucks to clear customs in minutes rather than hours. Look at this. The politicians are like, whatever you need. And listen to this. The politician here has been told by Tom Zhu, who leads Tesla's factory operations, that guy's probably going to become the CEO one day, that the company wanted to build the plant faster than their Chinese plant, their Shanghai plant. Absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. Really, really incredible. Really, really impressive. So congratulations here, Tesla, on playing 4D chess with the politicians. Now we've got to talk, oh my gosh, yeah. Look at this here. Ready for this? Where is retail buying? Okay, so you've heard me say this probably 17,000 times before. Let me just give you a quick reiteration, and then I want to shout out, I'll shout this out first. And then I want to tell you the new information. So anyway, I do want to shout out the Tesla Takeover. You could go to like Tesla Takeover, just Google it. But I think you could go to teslatakeover.com. They're doing an event in San Luis Obispo, July 29th to 30th. I am too lazy to drive there, so I will be flying there like a total lazy bum. But I will be popping in. I'm invited to get made fun of by the extreme Tesla bulls and to speak to the normal people, like the people who are not like super bullish, but the people who are like normal Tesla investors. But anyway, it's going to be a really, really cool event, I think. Hopefully I don't get too many tomatoes thrown at me for bringing realism. But hey, look at that. Here I am. Meet Kevin. Ross Gerber will be there. Gary Black will be there. We got Farzad will be there. Sandy Munro. You've got May Musk. It's pretty cool. That's awesome. Elon Musk's mom. So anyway, that's pretty cool. So anyway, what do we got over here? Yep, we've got Tesla stock is now more popular than ever among individual investors. Now, why is this important? Well, it's important because remember Elon sold $24 billion in 2022, right? Retail bought about $15 billion. So that left about a $9 billion deficit of HODL money. It's kind of like the way you have to look at a stock, and this is really important, okay? When you look at a stock, think about it kind of like the Earth's crust for a moment. And the stuff down here at the bottom, like this really, really like hardcore like iron and stuff like that, that's like the hardcore HODL foundation. It's like the iron, the limestone, like the really hard stuff, right? Those are your hodlers. On top of that, you got all the trading noise, right? Well, what Elon basically did by selling for Twitter, and you can't blame him, okay? He wanted to buy Twitter, whatever, he can do that, that's his right. He basically mined away like a big old chunk of the foundation right here and basically created a sinkhole for the stock to slip into, okay? But what has retail done today? Look at this. Retail, so far this year, has spent $13.6 billion buying Tesla stock. They are rebuilding. Retail, you, individual investors, are single-handedly rebuilding the foundation Elon sinkholed. Congratulations. That's freaking awesome. Already $13.6 billion. Look at the chart of retail buys. This is absolutely insane. Net purchases of Tesla by individual investors, 5-day moving average. I mean, I don't know what it is, but basically, I think everybody started tax loss harvesting over here in December or right there in January because you had just like this explosion over here. The bottom was over, but you actually did have quite a bit of buying over here in November, December. As you know, some people were paper handing or tax loss harvesting or whatever, tax expenses, who knows. But I actually launched my ETF probably somewhere around, November, if that's 2022, probably somewhere around here, which is really interesting. It's kind of good timing on that, I suppose. But anyway, very, very cool. Very, very cool that Tesla retail investors are going nuts buying again. It's worth noting that Webull has, a proportion of accounts at Webull trading. Tesla climbed the proportion of accounts at Webull trading Tesla was 18% in February. That was just 4% 6 months ago. Tesla reigns supreme on our platform We saw a huge spike in December, they say. And they also, the Wall Street Journal here goes on to say that Tesla is now outpacing QQQ, Apple, and Amazon. Oh, quick fun fact, as sort of just a reward for those of you who stay to the end of these videos. If you hodl QQQ, I highly encourage you do something else. You ready for this? I want you to look into QQQM. Now, you might be like, what? What the hell is that? Compare the fees. That's all I'm going to say. The expense ratio on QQQ is 20 bips. QQQ, and these are, passively managed. They're not like an active managed fund. So, of course, the bips are lower. 20 bips on QQQ. QQQM is exactly, we're told, exactly the same thing. And the expense ratio, Webull doesn't even show the expense ratio, but the expense ratio is a fraction of QQQ. And the only reason is because they market QQQ and they don't market QQQM. So they're like, hey, if we can milk more money on QQQ, why not? Bet you didn't know that. Anyway, I appreciate you all being here. Thank you so much. I appreciate, I know there are a lot of quiet supporters out there. I would probably say 90% of people who watch me are quiet supporters, appreciate the perspective. And you've got like maybe 8-9% loud supporters. And then there are like 1 or 2% really loud haters. But I have to even thank them. For some reason, they keep coming back too. So I think what it is I just come across as like very punchable. I don't know why. I haven't figured it out myself. But everybody's like, I want to punch you in the face until I get to know you. And then I like you. Anyway, thank y'all. Appreciate you. We'll see you soon. Bye.